Hey everybody, and appropriate seasonal greetings to you all. Here we are on the day of Decemberween Eve, and what better time to take another trip to hell? Hi, this is and this is I Played a Thing, Hell, a cyberpunk thriller. Last time, we found from our superior officer, Frank Jersey, that a likely player in the frame-up of Rachel and Gideon is a demon named Mr. Beautiful, who hangs out at a speakeasy called the Interface. So here we are at the entrance to the Interface. Let's have a look around.
While many people have seen demons in the bottom of a bottle, there's no telling from the front of this nondescript building that it contains a speakeasy, which itself is a front for the backroom headquarters of the demon Pazuzu, aka Mr. Beautiful. About the only clue to what's inside is the sign on the door.
Ah, so Mr. Beautiful's real name is Pazuzu. This actually goes a long way toward explaining why Rachel called him an Assyrian scumbag in the previous video. Pazuzu is a demon from Assyrian mythology. But she didn't actually know he was Pazuzu at the time, so I don't know what possessed her to say that. A little, conflict in the writing, I suppose. We'll certainly be seeing more of those as time goes on. Well, let's have a look at the door.
A pair of big, dark, bloodshot eyes peer suspiciously out a slot that slides open in the door. The swarthy lids blink slowly.
Okay, swarthy, ugly guy. Let us in, won't you?
What is it?
I'll give you 3 guesses and a chance for the washer decking unit.
Let's try not to be clever, Gideon.
The password, numbskulls. You want in? You gotta give me it.
There's a password? You're kidding me.
Nah, you gotta be a member. Read this side.
Well, it always pays to try the direct approach, I suppose.
That ain't the password. You guys will have to do better than that.
One quirk of this game is that many named NPCs never actually mention their names, but if we go to examine, we can see what their name is, so apparently our door guard is Carl. Alright, let's try and actually solve the puzzle this time. It's a minor puzzle, but a reasonable one, not too much crazy adventure game logic involved. Let's try that again.
Can't just read. Like the sign says, members exclusively. No password, no entry. Now, beat it.
Sentry-enforced security admittance, members exclusively. Well, if you take a look at the first letter in each of those words, reading straight down the left of the sign, you will see a rather familiar word when it comes to the opening of doors. Open sesame. And without another word from Carl, the suspiciously oversized manhole cover opens up, and we can enter. Lots of people here, but as soon as we enter, a conversation will automatically begin with this lady perched on the bar right here.
Well, and who's the next victim?
And as you can clearly see, instead of one of our pre-rendered, questionable 90s CG characters, we actually have an FMV character here. Kind of an odd style mismatch, but this here character is played by Cinna Stone of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue and Playboy fame, and I guess if you're going to hire a supermodel to be in your game, you want to show her off.
I beg your pardon?
So, This is what you look like now. Wow, they did a nice job. You look great.
Why, Mr. Ashanti, my little heart would be all aflutter if I had one.
Rachel, honey, allow me to introduce Cinna Stone. She's, an old friend of mine.
Oh, really?
No, I just mean we go way back,
Yeah, we used to go way back, behind the barn, didn't we, Gideon? Hey, Gid, remember the days when I used to see through you? I love you, baby. I'll always love you.
Cut it out, Cinna. This is Rachel.
Not the Rachel. Well, what do you know? Walks on 2 legs and everything.
Wait a minute. Gideon, you never mentioned that you two were...
Involved, friendly, acquainted, pals, buddies, amigos, familiar with the beast with 2 backs, just good friends who scream in the night, rock around the clock. What do you know? Here come the daylight kind of friends.
Gideon, you old dog.
Right. He never mentioned that.
So, Cinna, how's things by you?
Oh, just fine, thank you for asking. I found that after you, electronics is the next best thing. Of course, it's not like I have any choice in the matter now.
I was really sorry when I heard it, Cinna.
I know, I got your cards, the flowers, or rather, the flower. What is that supposed to be, dashing or something? A man sends you a single rose?
That wasn't a white rose by any chance.
White as snow. You on the mailing list?
One of many, apparently.
Rachel, the woman was dead. I mean, not dead exactly.
It's all right, Gideon. I was dead, still am, as a matter of fact, in the quaint, traditional sense of the word. I'm not more than a picture in a scrapbook.
I just don't get this stuff. It's you. You're thinking, talking, still seem to have a little feeling, but...
It's not her feeling I was wondering about.
Relax, Rachel. Gideon always preferred his women to have some substance. Didn't you, Lamb Chop? He liked them live, too.
So how did they do this?
Did most of this myself, actually. You work with the kind of ordnance I work with? You always figure on slipping someday, especially when the tech updates itself every 5 minutes. I developed this droid I've been tinkering with for years, and every now and then I downloaded as much of my own playful sweet self as I could into data. My personality, memories, you name it. Everything. That's me onto a couple of compact discs. I didn't bother to keep up the holographic file, so you'll notice I'm a bit younger than the last time you saw me. The last picture of me was from a cousin's wedding. I remember wishing I'd brought some plastic explosives with me. The band played Satisfaction once too often.
So let's think about this. The late Cinna Stone has basically kept herself alive in a sense through the use of some sort of android that projects a holographic image of her, because before she died, she backed up everything that made her who she is onto, quote, a couple of compact discs. Actually, in the novel, this was specified as 3 compact discs. So think about this for a moment. All of Cinna's memories, personality, knowledge, the entire contents of her brain fit onto 3 CDRs. Boy, the implications really don't say anything too good about Cinna Stone, do they? Anyway, moving along.
Do you remember what happened? I'm sorry. Probably would rather not.
Nah, it's alright. I don't remember a thing. I only remember up to my last downloading, which was about a week before what my doctors like to call the unfortunate incident. I remember taking the assignment, though. It was with an old friend from the Georgetown Revo days. You know, an old friend I was seeing in a new kind of light. He was a pretty damn good B&E man, though. But as far as demolitions go, He didn't know shit from Shinola. So I thought I'd help out and see what it would be like to work together. The job called for us to use proto-glycerin caps. Nitro in gel form. Highly unstable stuff. Not for use at home. Next thing I know, I'm coming out of surgery, and there's no there.
You think your partner's screwed up?
Couldn't say. He didn't make it. He always was kind of fumble-fingered when it counted, though. I guess it just goes to show you, never mix love and explosives.
Sorry about your friend.
Don't be. I'm a holograph. Go ahead, pinch me.
Who was in on the operation? What was your target?
Oh, no you don't, Arkhead. You know I would never give up names.
Well, I'm not exactly with the firm any longer.
I heard. They finally wised up to the fact that you weren't really a fascist at heart and put a hit out on you. But I figure, knowing you, that it hasn't sunk in yet. You probably figure it's some bureaucratic snafu you can still clear up. And to be honest, it's an old habit that's gonna die even harder than I did, knowing better than to talk about the Revo side of things. I mean, remember how much trouble you had kissing in public? Even after we've been going out ages, it made you uncomfortable?
I gotta say, for someone with only a trio of CDRs worth of brain material, Cinna is kind of perceptive about Rachel and Gideon here, thinking that this is all just some mistake they can straighten out.
Was he like that with you, too? I thought it was me.
Now, he's got his prudish side. And does he still leave wet towels all over the place?
Oh, wait a minute. I think we're getting off the subject.
How'd you like to see him take a walk on the Revo side?
This is kind of an odd little swerve in characterization for Rachel. Usually a little more the true believer side, and this time she's openly talking about signing Gideon up for the revolution. We'll definitely be seeing more of that as the game goes on. They kind of go back and forth as to who's the straight edge.
Gideon? That's something I'd like to see.
Great. Why don't you come with us? We could certainly use you. Of course, with my expertise with explosives, I'm likely to blow you up again.
No problem. That's the great thing about being dead. You don't sweat the little things.
Great. I have a feeling that with you along, we'll really be able to give the hand a run for their money.
Yeah, well, you know my motto. If you can't figure it out, blow it up. By the way, Rachel, I was just kidding earlier. I mean, I knew it was over between Gid and me the first time I heard him mention your name.
Oh, that's sweet.
Really? The first time?
Gideon.
Judas Priest, is it me or did the road just get longer? Okay, ladies. Beautiful must be behind that door at the rear of the bar. First thing we should do is confront that demon. Once we've done that, we can consider these other leads we've collected. Let's see. Dante told us about Aldous Xenon of the CFF. We should go there soon. There's Nick Cannon at Voice of God near the mall, and Dr. Clean at McPherson Square. Jersey tipped us to Mouchoir's computer in the transgressions office near Federal Triangle, and he also mentioned a demon hunter named Dean Sterling. Maybe Mouchoir's got something on Sterling. Of course, if we really get desperate, we can drop in on our old friends Pap Pap and MMA at their comic shop near Gallery Place. Not far from that Xenon fellow. A long road indeed. On to beautiful, ladies.
That is quite a number of leads indeed, and we will eventually have to chase down them all, but the game is a little bit on rails in this early going. We do have to do everything we need to do with Mr. Beautiful before any of these other locations will open up on the DC map. Well, we're here, so that would be the sensible thing to do anyway. And without really even needing us to confirm it, Cinna Stone jumps on into our party. We can have 3 party members at a time, and they don't really do a lot, but they have some unique inventory items that only they can use. As you might expect, Cinna's inventory items have to do with her explosive abilities. Let's take a look at that. Actually, you know what, before we do that, The music is kind of blaring compared to the dialogue, and, you know, I thought there might be separate volume sliders for that, but I guess this game is just a little too primitive. So, I guess we'll just have to deal with it. I could turn the music off, but why would you want me to turn off this wonderful audio?
The place still resonates, with the shockwaves emanating from the mysterious and brutal murder of the owner, Swivel O'Leary, by a government scrub team. All the normal, talkative patrons keep coming, however. Maybe because now they have something to talk about.
Oh yes, that was another thing we were here for. Besides investigating Mr. Beautiful and his possible link to our frame-up, the bartender of this place, Swivel O'Leary, was scrubbed on the same night that the scrub teams attended to kill Rachel and Gideon. So there may be a connection here. We should investigate that. What's this barkeep all about?
Ever since the previous bartender, owner Swivel O'Leary, was brutally murdered by a scrub team, former Hell's Angel Sore has been nervous and tender as a, well, open sore.
Okay, well I guess we can talk to Open Sore. Maybe we can get ourselves a nice cold Schnyds.
What'll it be?
Oh, hello, sailor.
Answers to some questions we have.
Okay, beer.
Beer. The answer to all of life's questions.
I beg your pardon.
That's my answer.
You only sell beer?
We only sell Schnyds.
We like to keep it simple.
We wanted to ask you about Swivel O'Leary.
Swivel's dead.
We know. You got any idea why the hand would off him?
You don't get it. He's dead, as in smeared against the freaking wall. As in no way in hell I'm talking to you about him.
Christ. Whatever happened to the friendly neighborhood barkeep that you could tell your troubles to?
He's still dead.
Okay, fair enough.
So are we, if we keep wasting time on clowns like you. Come on, kid.
Oh, forgive me, I'm being forgetful. We were going to have a look at Cinna's inventory. She's got some nifty explosive ordnance, it appears. And we should be able to look at this stuff. Oops. You can tell it's been a while since I interacted with this somewhat flaky UI. That's right, I think we have to put this stuff on examine
This
here.
electromagnetic pulse grenade can have a particularly devastating effect on machines.
Wow, Cinna, I hope you don't drop that. Be kind of bad for you.
These plastique charges are set for detonation when the pin is pulled.
Pretty straightforward.
A bomb that emits an incapacitating nerve gas. It does not harm victims, but so deadens their nervous system that they are rendered into a virtual coma for several hours. It will take out a room full of people almost instantaneously, and it's small enough to fit in a pneumatic tube.
Small enough to fit in a pneumatic tube. Boy, that's oddly specific, isn't it?
A small charge the size of a bullet, also known as poppers.
Always nice to have some party poppers. Alright, what about this guy?
He may look like an elf, but he's really a wizard when it comes to jury-rigging anything out of nothing. He's even got his appearance rigged to his liking. Due to his size and quiet demeanor, he's easily overlooked, despite the fact that his name has near legendary status.
I was wondering when you two would get to me.
What are you talking about, fella? We never saw you before.
I know, just my footprint. That's only when I got sloppy a couple of times.
Who the hell are you?
Scub Stevens.
Holy cow, Scub Stevens? The man's a legend.
You're Scub Stevens. You're kidding me.
You expected something taller?
Well, yes, frankly. A holograph can dream, can't she?
Cinna, a holograph can have some manners.
It's just that we never figured on meeting you. The sign of a good rigger is that he doesn't leave too many fingerprints. You don't leave any. In fact, that's how we know a job is yours. No fingerprints, no marks, vert after images, nothing.
From what I seen, if anybody could have given me problems, would have been you two. Too bad for Art. You're out of the business.
Wait a minute, I just remembered something. Didn't a scrub team come after you once?
Maybe? No maybe about it. Don't they teach you ARC boneheads about famous disasters amongst your peers? I mean, he took out an entire scrub team.
Let's just say you should never try to take a jury rigger at home. I didn't have to lift a finger. All they had to do was open the door. How did you guys escape?
Pure luck. They were expecting to take us out one at a time.
It's never pure luck when you outdo a scrub team, lady.
Now I'm beginning to think our luck has run out.
Well, maybe not. You're off the hand's map now. That's one good thing. They don't know where you are. They don't know what you know. There's a bunch of good people that were in your jurisdiction they never heard of. People you laid off of. Maybe some of them could help you.
People like you?
I can be persuaded. Plus, I sort of owe you two.
You'd be willing to work with us even though there's a scrub team after us?
Yeah, what the hell? It's a slow week. What do you think? You need me?
We've got a legendary hardware hacker here who has MacGyver skills and looks exactly like a dwarven Steven Spielberg. I think I'm sold.
Great. But don't you have to, get your little black bag or whatever it is riggers carry their tools around in?
I'm a rigger, for God's sakes. If you can't make do with stuff on hand, what good are you?
Alright, our second party member. Let's see what he's got. Glass cutter, that's nice.
A glass cutter.
Common household item? Yeah, I know, I always keep a few of those around the kitchen.
A bottle of standard household glue. This vial of so-called green powder could knock out an elephant.
Well, that'll be handy if we should encounter any elephants in our travels.
Scub Stevens' ability to jury rig.
Somewhat curious that that's represented as an inventory item, but I guess you just gotta work within the interface. No pun intended.
A woman of striking warmth and grace is out of place in this seedy speakeasy.
I like her, metallic purple suit there. Hey lady, where'd you buy that?
You don't look like the type who drinks in a place like this.
Not by choice. I'm desperate to earn some money. Know anybody who needs the services of a good forger?
Damn right you don't look the part. Why put yourself at risk?
That's my business, isn't it?
Not if you're pushing your services to us.
I told you, it's the money. I need cash to get my daughter out of this city. She lives with a gang of kids that call themselves the Clean Machine. They live near McPherson Square in a tenement across the street from their opposite numbers, the Deadly Seven.
That's odd. What caused the division? Was it a result of their deck mutation?
Interjection here. Deck mutation? This comes from something that was covered in the manual, but isn't really spelled out in-game. Sometime before the events of this game, there was a popular game console called the ActiDeck, which was the first attempt at like a consumer-grade VR game machine, and the ActiDeck was eventually banned because it caused mutations in the kids that used it.
Not much we can do about getting your girl out of the gangs, but we could have use for a forger.
I always carry my tools. If you want me to work with you, I'm ready. But my condition is this. You two help me convince Chastity to leave the cleans. Do something to show her how empty a life it is, and I'll serve as your forger. Agreed?
Well, we are living off the grid, trying to stay a step ahead of the law, so having someone who can forge official-looking documents could be handy. We got some space in the party. Let's go ahead and take Sophia along.
Remember our deal now. You have to help me with Chastity while I forge for you. Time goes by, and I think you're welching on our deal. I'll leave you high and dry.
There is probably a time limit to this, but it seems to be very generous. You can dick around quite a bit without taking care of the Chastity's gang life subplot, and I've never had Sophia actually walk out on me. But we will have to do that subplot anyway, so, you know, whatever. We'll see what's up with Sophia. Hey, we've got a full party already.
Sophia Bene's ability to forge documents.
Straightforward enough.
This template will allow you to make an official quality level 4 pass.
And if we should ever find ourselves in need of a level 4 pass, we can get that taken care of. We've got a few more folks to talk to here, so let's just get that squared away.
Some things never change. A big, badass biker.
Hey, sweetheart, ditch that loser and run with a real man. I got a full tank of gas in the hog, a 6-inch wad of $100 bills, and enough adrenal stimulators to party for a week straight.
Some things never change, the description said. A big badass biker. Well, I've seen my share of motorcycle enthusiasts in my day, and, you know, I don't think I've ever met any with hair made entirely out of melted vinyl.
Tempting offer, Chief, but I'll pass. We've got work to do.
Come on, babe, what can tall, dark, and depressed do for you that Mind Runner can? Hanging with me is more than just physical, if you get what I'm saying. They don't call me Mind Runner for nothing.
Can it, Casanova? We're digging for data on Swivel O'Leary.
O'Leary. Funny how a man gets more interesting once he's had his intestinal tract splattered all over a walk-in freezer. Swivel played it cool. Kept his mouth shut. Mostly mumbled to himself. Hell, half of that was in Latin.
Latin? He spoke Latin?
Just a few phrases. Hell only knows where he picked that up. Freaking annoying is what it was. I almost busted his chops plenty of times. Vocabulum est grale. Omnis venere abgenitor. He must have mumbled that 1,000 times under his breath. What's with you two? That mean something to you?
You know, I don't want to stereotype the fine motorcycle enthusiasts of this great country, but I'm kind of surprised that, you know, some random bar-dwelling biker would be able to recognize Latin, let alone rattle it off from memory.
Vocabulum et grale. Ominous venere obgenitor, huh? The word grale could mean something.
Incidentally, you may remember from the intro that as Rachel sprung up from her nightmare, she recited the phrase vocabulum est cirrus, ominous venere abgenitor. Same phrase, just one different word. Naturally, this will be significant eventually, but we won't learn the truth behind that for quite a while.
Glad I could help, sunshine. Guess you owe me now. I can think of dozens of ways to repay me, depending on how flexible you are.
Well, charming fellow, and we've got one more person to talk to here.
Disparate confabulation of decades of urban contrariness in fashion, attitude, and jargon appears to have dressed in the closet of some countercultural royal in the dark. Carries it all off with the haughtiest, most regal bearing, though. The look of royalty, slightly deposed.
A look of royalty slightly deposed. I can't help but think that the state-of-the-art of 3D modeling at the time makes her character model look sort of like a plastic trash can with limbs and a head. But we'll give her a chance.
I shudder to ask.
Actually, I thought we'd do the asking.
I should have known. Investigators. You have that orderly, methodical look. Seekers of arrangement where there is none. It doesn't exist. And even if it did, I'm not interested.
Judas Priest. How do you order a drink with that kind of mojo?
Gideon, you leave Rob Halford out of this.
Kind of reminds me of the time I tried to get you to talk about commitment, Gideon.
Yeah, well, you blew your chance at that one, didn't you? In more ways than one, I'd say.
Retract your claws, Rachel.
Blew my chance? Did it ever occur to you that maybe some women feel that they don't have to beg a man to commit to something? Maybe I was secure enough.
Are you saying that I'm insecure, you tin-plated bimbo?
Will you two knock it off?
All right. So anyway, lady, what you're saying is you're a fan of disorder.
Queen of chaos, actually. Deck in, baby. C'est moi. Queen of chaos.
Is it me, or is this conversation just a tad over my head?
It's shooting around you, my dear, like subatomic particles ricocheting for no discernible reason. And yet, I repeat, even this information includes information.
Do you know how we can get a hold of Mr. Beautiful?
Everyone knows that. You just have to say the magic word.
Good. There's nothing random about that. It takes a certain particular word to summon him up.
And yet not without the possibility of chance occurrence. Much like what happens in happenstance. A cyberduality, the prosing occurrence of his appearance with you standing there. Much like if a drink was suddenly to appear at my elbow, for example.
Much like the fat within chance. You want a drink from us? You've got to give us some news we can use.
I'm sorry. You're like aliens to me. I see him all around me. It seems easy. You must merely look at the creature to see his essence.
But we can't look at him if we can't summon him up.
If you could, you would see no more than some petty hood, not unlike thousands of others. Fate has condemned him, so he is the essence of condemnation, and that lies his essence. Within his essence, you will find him.
My head hurts.
Mine too. I give up. Thanks for your time, Queenie.
Although Queen Chaos's conversation is a little hard to follow, perhaps, there is an important hint in there, which we will be putting to use very shortly. I believe this is the way to Mr. Beautiful's office, yes? So let's wander on in there. Gideon? Thank you. Sometimes the pathfinding in hell can be a little wonky. Especially when it's trying to figure out a path for two characters to follow. A nice place he's got here.
Besides the fact that the room is papered with the kind of wallpaper you don't want to stray too close to, there's the pentagram on the floor, and all the other etceteras you'd expect in the office of a Major League demon. The jukebox, though, is a puzzling inclusion. A regulation but souped-up, customized pool cue that has a kind of sticky feel to it. It belongs to Mr. Beautiful.
A sticky, souped-up pool cue. Gimme.
The cue is not yours to take. While my master lives, he'll use your head to break.
All right. What's your story?
A small demon in spats feigns servility. He is the demonic epitome of the plotting servant, carrying out his master's agenda whenever it coincides with his own agenda.
Who are we looking at here? Abonitas. Okay.
A
And what
blast
about
from
this
the
here?
past. A jukebox loaded with Mr. Beautiful's favorite hits.
And what, pray tell, does Mr. Beautiful like to listen to?
Now is not the time to dance. You've business in the city dark. On my cue, you get your chance.
Well, it becomes clear that Abonitas is not going to let us have any fun here at all without dealing with him first, so let's do that. Rachel, where are you going?
What's this? What trouble have I bought? Have I copped a fate, naughty and full? Are you heat or scrubs who want me shots? I plead you see, I'm only dutiful. I didn't make the game I play. The one you want is Mr. Beautiful.
You got that right, Shorty. We need to see your master. Now.
See him? Not everyone may. Those who do are select. Make your bones, you dues to pay. I will summon him if I elect, but for me to chant and call him hence, from you the code I must detect.
Bring me Dennis Hopper.
Incorrect, you stupid slob! You have no hope! Go get a job!
Damn, these underworld types are secretive. Vials of silence, passwords, secret handshakes. Now we need a code word to summon this demon. Maybe there was something in that gibberish Queen Chaos was spouting. It seemed like she was trying to tell us something. If we can just remember what she said.
Oh, there's the game poking us with a little hint. Indeed, what we need is found in the conversation with Queen Chaos, as I mentioned earlier. She said that Mr. Beautiful was the essence of condemnation, and in the essence of his essence, or something like that, we would find him. Well, if you take the word condemnation, the essence of that is condemn.
Your brow is twisted. You look tense. You desire still to see my master. You must give the code to fetch him hence. You're impatient. You want him faster. To summon him you lack the stuff. Give the code or court disaster.
Okay.
The underworld will part and rend, a fissure up from hell to surface, and beauty rise at the word condemn.
I love the way he just stiffly rotates out of the center of the room there.
Abonitas, you cowering mixed spittle.
I told you to go light on the smoke and brimstone and shit when I'm in my human form. Ah! This stuff goes right into my friggin' throat, man.
Hi, Dennis.
Been harsher as of late, with human hearts and human lung. Perhaps you are not one so great, but I speak with too sharp a tongue. As your servant I stoop and crawl. Here are two with stories unsung.
Oh, listen to you. You're not fooling anybody with the false modesty. Fire up the espresso machine. I want a pot of double stuff ready for me when I'm done with Gideon and Rachel here.
You know, now that we get a closer look at it, that is some pretty disturbing
I'm
wallpaper.
gonna tell you two, I am not happy. I'm not frickin' happy at all when two of my people are making this much noise. Kicking the crap out of scrub teams in your underwear? How do you think that's gonna play with the Dagos and the Spics and those damn Indians downtown? I got every mob in this town handing me money because I've got Mephisto's patronage and a sweetheart deal with the hand. You two start blowing their people's brains out and you know what I'll have? I'll have friggin' squat, man. And every scrub gun in the metro area will be after me.
What is this? We don't work for you. We've never even seen you before.
Don't play games with me, girlie. That's the problem with the rackets these days. Nobody's got any loyalty left. Hey, I'm fighting a war here. I got enemies on every front and on two different planes of existence. I don't need mutiny by my own friggin' people.
We're not your people, beautiful. We're wise to what your sweetheart deal with the hand is all about. We know that you implicate people in crimes that they didn't commit, so that the hand is a cover story for arresting them. Well, it didn't work, pal. We slipped that noose, and we figure you know the real reason the hand wants us killed. We've come for answers, beautiful.
Don't push it, Ashanti. Ask Abonitas what happens when he pushes me too far. He pushes and pushes and pushes, man. And then I have to push back. And it ain't pretty, man. It ain't pretty.
We know what your game is. We know that you helped set us up for the scrub hit. We're here to learn the reasons why. And don't try to intimidate us, because we're not afraid of demons.
You're making demands on me. You got rocks as big as church bells, boy. But I'm gonna make them ring if you don't watch your step. A couple of ham and egg grifters think they can walk into my office in my speakeasy and give me the business. And don't hand me this fearless rat. You've had the late night kick on your door. The scrub team showed you how vulnerable you are. This planet's brimming with fear, man. I sense it everywhere, in everything. It's in the sweat of anxious transglobe grunts in lonely beds at 4 a.m. and skinny chicks with ugly scars taking wicked backhands from husbands.
I kind of like that little bit of dialogue from Beautiful there.
Don't think you're special. You got buckets of fear in you, boy, and I'll rip it out and show it to you if I didn't need both of you.
This is useless. Let's get out of here, Gideon.
You're not going anywhere. You're still in shock from the scrub attack. It happens to everyone the first time someone tries to shoot them in their bedroom. Trust me, you'll get over it. The best thing to do is plunge yourself into your work. Now, here's what you gotta do for me. You gotta help me with Sanguinarius. That son of a bitch. He's been a stone in my shoe for centuries, and today we settle all accounts. Does he think I've got my head in the sand, that I don't know what he's doing with all that ordnance he's stockpiling? That megalomaniac sees himself straddling the horse of death. Man, and he's leading his army of demons armed with bazookas, machine guns, and cluster bombs? He's even invented his own weapons. Guns that fire poisonous serpents and machine guns spraying hellfire. And see, he's got this vision of himself on this horse, man, with my head impaled on his sword, and he's kicking ass all over hell in the name of his master, Belial, who will reward him with chests of gems and chariots of overflowing with food and chambers full of plump, naked boys or some shit like that. Oh, your tiny little minds can't conceive the desperate grandeur of a demon's dreams. He wants it all, and that includes my head. But I'll be bum-buggered from this to Dorchester if that gun-crazy Diablo's getting the drop on me.
Chambers full of plump, naked boys. Bumbuggery. Sounds like a party to me.
Rachel, something wild's happening here, and we might be able to turn it to our advantage. I never quite understood the conflict between you and Sanguinarius.
What's to understand? There's nothing to it. It's a vendetta. It's hate. We're demons. Hate's our thing, our shtick, our raison d'etre. It's what we do. Sanguinarius serves that ignorant, hulking Belial, see? And I do the job for Mephistopheles. We've been tearing it up over the same turf for thousands of years, and now I got the upper hand. I had the vision, the brilliance to get connected with humankind's most potent sinners. I had the genius to take human form and become a player in the rackets. I built what I got with class and negotiation. Every mob boss has a weakness, and I played them off one another like a friggin' maestro. They all depend on me for something. Sanguinarius thinks he can just buy up weapons and blast his way to victory. That's so typical of Belial's cadre, man. So now it's time to go to the mattress. We're gonna hit him before he figures out how to use his new toys. You two proved yourself by kicking that scrub team's ass. And I think you're ready for the big time.
He's ranting, Gideon. He's completely evil and insane.
Let's hear him out. He's coming to the point.
You bet your ass I'm coming to the point. You're going to hell to see what Sanguinarius has got. I want to put a job on that monkey. I'm going to know what he's packing. He thinks he's the only demon who can score from the military. Meanwhile, I got dozens of buyers working the streets, M50 tanks with uranium-coated shells, automatic weapons with armor-piercing bullets, capillary-bursting sonic devices. Arms race with me, Willie. I'm gonna shut him down. See, you two are gonna help me take away his edge. I know he's whipping on a trio of high brass that used to belong to those saps in the CFF. If we can snatch them out of there, one of them might be loyal enough to steer some Pentagon hardware my way.
CFF, by the way, refers to the Citizens Freedom Front, which is the leading underground organization opposing the Hand of God Party.
Tell you to stuff it.
Then I'll freaking stuff them with broken beer bottles and cherry bombs. And the same for you if you don't get your blank minds linked up with my psychopomp. I want you to bring back as many of those tin soldiers as you can. But look out for Sanguinarius. If he catches you, you're gonna have to duke it out with that helmet head. So you got your marching orders. You gonna just stare at me? Or are you ready to go to hell?
Exit stage left, Gideon. There's nothing in hell that's gonna save our necks.
I don't know, Rach. It's a dangerous hunch, but I think Beautiful's an important part of this mess. We don't have any leads on Earth about why the Hand wants us dead. Maybe we have to go to hell to get the truth.
Here's the drill, kids. I use my psychopomp to open a portal between here and hell. You need to get out. Just think about leaving, and you'll be back. Unless you try to job me, and then I'll leave you there to burn. You all clear on that?
Well, seems clear enough. So, Mr. Beautiful thinks we're a couple of his underlings. Rachel and Gideon beg to differ with that, of course, but, if we play along, maybe we'll find a little more insight into just what happened here, why we got framed up, why the Hand wanted to kill us, and all that good stuff. Well, he's got a psychopomp, which can send us to hell, and wants us to deal with his little sanguinarious problem, gather some intel. Let's go ahead and do it. Apparently, to operate the psychopomp correctly, you have to wear some sort of ancient Aztec barber smock. What's up? Wow, I never knew JJ the jet plane even died, let alone went to hell. Well, we've got a bunch of items over here. Let's see what's available.
This cartridge contains a deadly, fast-acting, wide-area nerve gas.
Nerve gas. Always good to have on hand. By the way, if we head into the inventory now, you'll see that we have a separate inventory for when we're in hell. All of our stuff from the prime material plane, I suppose, for all you D&D nerds out there. That's all gone from our inventory, and our party members do not accompany us either. When we leave hell and return to the mortal world, however, we will get our stuff back, and the stuff we picked up in hell will stay behind.
These plastique charges are set for detonation when the pin is pulled.
Oh, some of that same stuff that Cinna had.
One of Sanguinarius's improvements on earthly weapons, this rifle fires a shell that on explosion releases a swarm of hellspawn serpents that slither over an opponent, inflicting countless lethal bites.
Snake gun. Cool.
A standard Army-issue laser rifle.
Yoink.
2095's version of an assault rifle holds a bigger clip and fires higher caliber bullets at a significantly faster rate.
We're getting all kind of goodies down here. Well, I guess it is hell. It pays to be prepared for a little high-end self-defense.
Has not improved significantly on the World War II era bazooka, except that the explosive charges are a good bit more powerful. This sinister weapon is sharp enough to split hairs and heavy enough to require 2 hands.
Why not? What's this thing?
This weapon actually consists of the upper body of an android carrying a machine gun. Worn like a backpack, the wearer merely has to face an enemy to elicit a deadly round of fire over his head from the buddy.
You know what? That's stupid. I don't want that. Got an invoice here. I guess this is the intel we needed on the kind of armament that Sanguinarius has been stockpiling. So let's stash that. I'm sure Mr. Beautiful will want to hear about it all. And who are these folks we've got here?
The Joint Chiefs of Staff writhes in pain. The once rugged, now bruised and battered and nearly fried Marine Chief of Staff, General Tantlinger, eyes you up.
Okay, well, Beautiful did mention that Sanguinarius was whipping on a trio of top brass down here in Hell, and I guess these are two of them. Let's see if they have any more intel for us.
Where's Sanguinarius? He's gone.
No, he's not gone. He's over there, going over the latest loot that greedy trader Mangini let him have.
Don't worry, General. We're here to save you. We're with the front.
I don't care if you're with the Foreign Freaking Legion. Get out of here. You came here of your own accord? How stupid can you be? Evac, all ass, retreat. Sanguinarius is nearby, and he's spoiling for a fight. You'll end up in worse shape than me.
Well, before we continue exploring, let's have a quick look around.
For Sanguinarius's vast arsenal. Big enough to include not only weapons, but aircraft and other vehicles. He spends a lot of time here, just soaking up the atmosphere.
I guess it is kind of a nice place. Before we continue our exploration, let's drop a quick save game, just to be on the safe side. Alright, let's see what's over here.
The crucified torture victims lining the horizon, backlit by firelight, seem apropos in this perpetual battle zone. This is the place where Sanguinarius likes to try out his new weapons, and his old for that matter.
This must be the third of the military torture victims.
US Army Chief of Staff.
This is the aforementioned General Mangini.
Hold on, General. We'll get you out of here as soon as we can deal with Sanguinarius.
Don't worry about me. This bastard hasn't gotten diddly out of me. I wouldn't even give him my name, rank, and serial number.
Looks like you gave him most of your uniform, though.
Clearly a demon who revels in his uniform, which is the proverbial full metal jacket and then some.
Now, first of all, I'm not real up on my ballistics, but doesn't Full Metal Jacket refer not to a uniform, but a type of ammunition? Also, this appears to not be the Full Metal Jacket and then some by any definition. It seems to be more like the proverbial U.S. Postal Service shorts. Anyway, let's see what old Sanguinarius has to say about this whole situation.
Humans with guns? Ask Mangini if those guns are gonna make any difference. I'll plug you and gut you and feed your bowels to the hellhounds and rack and tyranny.
Feed our bowels to the hellhounds and what now?
We don't scare that easy.
No, but I'll bet you die real good.
Well, that could have gone better. Well, we'll save the credits for another time. So this is how combat in Hell works. You either win or lose automatically depending on whether you have fulfilled the preconditions for victory, which we hadn't. The conditions for defeating Sanguinarius are very simple. You either picked up all the weapons in the previous room or you didn't. That is why I left the stupid android backpack thing behind, so you could see the failure there. Alright, I'll take the stupid thing this time. I do have to notice that Sanguinarius fulfilled his threat rather literally there. He actually did plug us and get us and feed our bowels to the Raconteran. Have a quick chat with Mangini, just in case it's actually important for any flag setting or what have you. Let's do this properly this time.
Humans with guts.
Stuff it, gruesome.
No, but...
Yeah, he says all the same stuff. Much better. And we see the general fade out. And his soul escaping from hell. And for some reason, his soul appears to take the form of a skeleton carved from highly polished wood. Well, Dennis ought to be happy with us, but let's see what Abonitas has to say first.
Neither one of you a slaughtered lamb? It is Sanguinarius who tastes defeats. I salute your strength. Let's down a dram.
Sounds good. Give me a schnitz.
We did your dirty work for you, beautiful. You can pay us back by clearing our names.
Payback? You ought to pay me back, girlie, after all I've done for you two. You think Sanguinarius is the only one who wants me dead? I keep my standings in the mob because they're too afraid to try for me. I show one sign of weakness, one sign I can be had, and they'll be on me like dogs, man, like rabid freaking hellhounds. I need you two to be good Germans and wait for your orders. You keep your asses out of trouble, and you keep checking with me. I'll have your next mission.
Well, crap. That got us approximately nowhere. However, now that we've rescued those 3 military top brass, we may have some friends in the Pentagon unexpectedly. And also, now that we've dealt with Mr. Beautiful, we have unlocked all of our other leads that we can now pursue by going to the DC map and hunting them down. Not bad. And we've got our 3 party members with us as well. I'm sure they'll come in handy in the future. But that's been about an hour, I think, and that's probably enough for one episode. So I'd like to say thank you, as always, for joining me. And I hope you and yours all have a most excellent Decemberween. I don't think I'll be able to get another episode up before the year turns over. So this is saying farewell for now. Happy holidays and Happy New Year, and I'll see you in 2014. Take care.